What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of MVP Unplugged. Today's MVP is a content creator, a storyteller, and much more we'll find out in today's episode. Please welcome Ahan on the show, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Rahul. Means a lot.
Welcome, Ahan. How's life, bro?
Life has been good lately. I mean, I can see there's a slightly new phase in my life starting to unfold. So it's been good. Little bit of a lull past last month, but knock on wood, slowly picking up. And yeah, man, like I think life as a whole is always good, but you always have like these ups and downs. But that's just a part of it. But otherwise, no complaints.
Then what's up, Ahan? Like before we get into your content creation journey and everything, like tell us a bit about yourself, your childhood and everything.
Yeah, man. So, born and raised in Bengaluru itself. Born in 2000 April. To add a little more detail, I was born premature. So I was born 2 months early, and apparently that 1 month from my birth was a very stressful time for my parents. And then after that, yeah, I grew up here, had a wonderful childhood. Grew up in the north of Bangalore in a very nice area called Malleshwaram. It's one of the old parts of Bangalore. Had a wonderful childhood. Uh, m- uh, so I didn't have a lot of friends in my area, but in the school I went to and my mother's friends, children and all, grew up with them, made friends there, and had a lot of fun in the house I lived in. Enjoyed most of the time on the weekends. I would, like just spend around walking there, doing things by myself, always engaging in something that's slightly creative, be it like science experiments or building things with Lego blocks, doing things like that. And then later, I was hugely into video games as well, like Nintendo Wii, Xbox, things like that. And after I grew older, cricket was a huge part of my life as well. Um, then I later moved into a complex where I made a lot of friends in my teenage years around me, and we grew up playing cricket. I went to an academy as well. Played that. That really instilled a lot in me because. So here's what I feel. Right, you can tell a lot about a person if they've rigorously been put into either a sport or a singing class or anything in their childhood where they're like, okay, I'm going to do this every once a week, because I think something outside of studies instills some sort of drive in you, right? Like you guys, like Rahul was telling me, it was always a dream to do this podcast. So in school, how was it for you guys? Like when you guys were young, like apart from studies,
Bro,
how was
like
it?
same. We both like were into sports. Like cricket was a huge thing
Huge
for us,
thing, yeah.
bro. Still it is. Like we still play cricket with our friends like every weekend. And like even you, like I've seen your videos. Like you've made a lot of videos about cricket and all
Yeah.
of that. I knew that for sure that you're gonna be a
Bring it
cricket
up.
fan.
Yeah. I'm
so
actually planning, sorry to cut you off.
yeah.
I'm actually planning to shoot another cricket related video tomorrow. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
yeah, but yeah, you were saying, sorry.
We should play cricket sometime, bro.
Definitely. Outside here.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Then like, what did you study?
So in undergrad, I did physics. Yeah. So I was so 11th and 12th. I took science, and 11th and 12th itself, I realized I don't like science. But then, society, they're like, if you do science, then you'll be respected, all of that. And I think people put a bad rap on other kinds of streams like arts, commerce. In fact, I feel there shouldn't be streams at all. That's the stupidest thing. Is science, commerce, arts, you pick one stream. Supposing someone likes physics and economics, why can't that person choose that, right? I mean, certain boards allow that PCM economics or PCM psychology, all of that, but not all, colleges have that. So I feel it should be a more interdisciplinary thing, but because of whatever situation it was, I was like, okay, I'll do science. Then I did not want to do engineering because I've always had this thing, I want to be different than other people. And I'm glad I didn't do engineering because, see, in engineering you get fucked for 4 years. BSc you get fucked for 3 years. 1 year, 1 year I was bachav, I was saved. So that was actually helpful because at 1 year, like between my undergrad and my masters, I took 1 year gap to figure out what I really wanted to do. Because after doing physics as well, I realized, okay, I like the subject, but I don't want to work in that. So did a bunch of internships and figured out, one thing I like is business and creating content. So I went later to the US to do my masters. I actually came back a couple of months ago. to do a master's in management. 1 year course. So it's called the Master of Science in Management at Wake Forest University. Shout
Okay.
out to Wake Forest University. Amazing place. I made a lot of friends there. Learned a lot about life, about business, of course, because that's why I went to school. And for the first time in my academic life, I was
Yeah.
actually invested in learning
Okay.
because there they make it learning oriented. Like their professors, it was a huge shock for me because they're like your teammate. Your professor is like, I'm gonna get you. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
them
yeah.
give that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you. We'll see how you pass.
Yeah.
Professors. Every kid in India at least who has one slight streak where okay, studies isn't everything, have faced this from professors where they say, we'll see how you'll pass.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, true.
That's happened to me also.
I think right, like it's
Yeah.
you felt that, right?
Mm.
But yeah, when I was there, like professors actually partnered with you. They want you to learn, so there's a little motivation. So there again, I studied business, learned a lot, made a lot of friends, learned about people's different mindsets.
Okay.
Partied a little bit as well over there. I mean,
How is it over there, like partying, like apart from studies, how's life over there? Because I'm very curious, bro. Like, I have quite a few friends who are still studying, so that they need to come back and then I need to talk. So I don't have much of friends like who have studied abroad and they've come back, and I want to listen to them. How is it over there? Because over here, you all know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the US student life, I can say it's divided into two parts
Okay.
in terms of area where you live in. If you live in a big city in California like San Francisco,
Okay.
Bay Area,
Yeah.
LA, you have a lot of nice places to go. Anyone who's studying in New York, amazing places to go out to.
Okay.
Chicago, Seattle,
Yeah.
all these big cities. But a lot of the universities are in
Okay.
small towns in the US,
Okay.
a majority. And there the life is very different. Now that also for an Indian or any international student, the life you get depends on the university. Some universities have a lot of Indians, and what happens is same people will flock together because
Yeah.
a lot of people. I get it that a lot of people don't want to go outside their comfort zone because
Right.
I understand you miss home. You're there in the first year itself.
Yeah,
You want to be closer to home, and after the first year, this becomes comfortable. So a lot of people just go down that path. But there's another kind where I went, small town in the US
Okay.
with very few international students.
Okay.
So I was kind of pushed outside my comfort zone to make friends and outside,
Yeah.
the Indian setup. I think I had like 3, 4 Indian friends who I'm still in touch with who are still in the US
Okay.
from different parts of India. But majority of my friends were American.
Yeah.
And there's a huge notion that, it's difficult for other people to be friends with Americans, people from different countries.
Okay.
I think, okay, maybe in some cases it's true, but in my case, that wasn't true at all. Luckily, I found great people who, were very accepting. And that's when I realized how Americans party.
Okay.
So for them, it's a lot of them, going out every week is a thing.
Yeah.
But they also like throwing parties in their houses, especially in student towns, because drinking is expensive,
Okay.
alcohol is expensive, right? So they're like, let's just get people together and throw a party. So I did go out a little bit, but most of the parties were at people's houses and a lot of fun, lot of fun. People are just having fun, having a good time, talking. And in India, one thing I've noticed is if you go to like certain pubs or bars, there's one kalesh that happens, one
Yeah,
fight that
yeah.
happens.
That's why we stopped, bro. We
Yeah,
stopped
it's
going.
you.
Yeah.
You don't like even if you're not involved directly, you
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
be around that
Yeah,
because you
same.
want to go there to enjoy. Some idiot is drunk,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing something and all. Some bouncer comes and all. But there, you have that confidence. Okay, no kalesh is going to happen. No fight is going to happen. It's going to go smoothly. I think I saw once one bouncer like kicked a guy out of the club.
Okay.
Once I saw it, and that's it. Nothing more happened. That guy just accepted it, moved on, and all. But here, that guy will come back. He'll call some people and all of that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying the US party culture is better than India anyway, but I would just say it's different. There's a lot of differences that you see from there and here. But yeah,
Then, like, why did you go there? Like, the actually, like, obviously
To
for
study,
studies,
man.
but like, there's something more to it, man.
yeah, to study and also because I think I didn't. So my education wise, the physics degree I felt it didn't have that much of a marketable value on my resume.
Okay.
So I agree that degrees don't really matter in today's day and age. If you can literally market any skill that you learn, But I don't know. I was still of the mindset just for my safety and security, let me get that degree. And I don't think it's a bad decision, at least for me at all, because I still learned something. I think that was my most productive period academically.
Okay.
So I don't regret that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was more about getting a degree that, where I gain a lot of value and it has a lot of value for me in the future.
Okay.
That's why I was clear on that and decided to do it. But I'm not saying degrees are the only way to, get jobs or
Yeah,
be
right.
successful
Right.
or do whatever you want to do. I think it's another alternative, but it depends on the person completely.
Mm.
So, since you have studied here and in US, what do you see the difference of mentality of people there?
One is here in at least a city like Bengaluru, Mumbai, big cities or tier 1, tier 2 cities, these colleges that are there. So students are from well-to-do backgrounds,
Mm.
uh, upper middle class backgrounds, lower middle class backgrounds mostly. And but if you and for these people, depending on which college they go to, for a lot of them, it's not because they want to really do that course. For a lot of them, it's a part of it. I'll do it. It's okay.
Okay.
So they spend a lot of time in college just wasting time,
Mm.
whiling away time, not curious about studies. And even I have been there, bro. Like for me, most of my undergrad, I only studied before the exam and I would beg, borrow notes, all of that. But there, people who go to college because college is so expensive or they're
Yeah.
on scholarships,
Yeah.
which, they cannot afford to lose,
Yeah.
they're at it, they're grinding. They're like, okay, I'm going to party, but schoolwork is schoolwork. I need to do schoolwork because getting into college there also requires a lot of rigor. Not a lot of people choose to go to college there.
Okay.
So the natives of the US over there, if they go to college, it's a huge deal because it's a
Yeah.
big decision for
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
financially, career wise, in terms of their career trajectory. So
Right.
they're immediately driven. Everyone is like, you know, focused on getting the job done, doing the assignments. In fact, you'll see a lot of people stay back after classes for a couple of hours, do the assignments, go home.
Okay.
And even the international students, of course, you invest a lot, right? So people are very prim and proper there as well to get the job done.
Okay.
So I think there, in terms of student mindset, everyone understands. We need to work hard. We need to get things done. We need to do well because there's a lot at stake. But here, I feel once people go to college, it's like, okay, let me live student of the year a little bit. Let me live Three Idiots a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Still figuring themselves out,
Yeah.
all of that. But I think what happens to a lot of people is this is one thing I've noticed a pattern. That I think I would like to divide people into three kinds of people, right? They're toppers who do really well,
Okay.
and they're very street smart as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up, going up in life, succeeding, doing something really cool, working at like a McKinsey, a Bain,
Okay.
and starting like Zomato founder. He worked
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Bain and then he started
Yeah.
Zomato. Then there are a lot. I've also noticed a lot of people who are toppers in school, toppers in college, but once they get into the real world, they're like, "Shit, what did I study so hard for?"
Yeah,
And they're not
yeah,
street smart.
yeah.
So getting up, getting that promotion, and even the work that they're doing is like basically typing numbers into Excel sheets. They're not using their brain much. They're like, "I wasted my whole life just to do this. Am I going to be here forever?" All of that. And the third type, I think, is the people who are backbenchers, and that can either go two ways.
Yeah, yeah.
That is later on, like us, after we graduate, we're like, shit, yaar, kuch karna hai. Like, shit, we need to do something. We need to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Or there is, shit, what did I do? I don't know what I'm doing in life. So it's either they're extremely driven to do something, or they're like, oh no, what am I doing in life? Where am I going to be? And they don't take action.
Okay.
So that's what I've noticed overall. So yeah.
So now let's talk about your content creation, your videos and everything. Like before we start off, bro, like one question, man. I was watching all your videos, okay? You made a reel on idli, bro. Come on, man. Like, how can you hate idli, man? That's the most comfort food. That's the most comfort food for every Indian.
I'll tell you, bro, when I was a kid, I liked idli more than dosa, okay? But I don't know, there's some trauma associated with it. I think some person who cooked idli once, they made some very bad idli. It wasn't soft enough. It was very, like the rice was still sticky. It wasn't soft enough, all of that. And when it went down my throat, I vomited. So I think after that, Even cucumber for me, cucumber,
Uh-huh.
I cannot handle that vegetable either. It's the same mental thing. So that's why. But
Now,
dosa is always my favorite. Dosa, but not idli. I like dosa better
now
than
you
idli.
have completely stopped having idli.
I mean, if I have to eat, I can, but not that often. But I remember actually when I was a kid, there was a point of time where I really liked idli, but later, I just did.
Yeah, okay.
I think you're the first one who has, a PTSD with
Yeah,
idlis.
man, some sort of PTSD, some sort of trauma.
So when did you like start off with your content creation, man? Like what year did you start off? How was it like? Did you like directly get into storytelling or like you started putting something else out?
So initially in 2018, that's when I posted my first video.
Okay.
And I started making fashion videos.
2018.
Yeah, yeah.
I think 2018 that was booming.
Yeah,
Like all these
yeah, all
fashion,
these
yeah, like we all were in college. And
Alex
then,
Costa, beer biceps,
Yeah, yeah,
Alpha
yeah,
F, bro. Then you see like 6 ways to impress a girl.
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
that. So I was like, okay, let me also make that kind of videos. So I did that, but nothing ran. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna make this only run. So 2 years I kind of wasted doing those kind of videos.
Okay.
I realized, okay, this also it's not running, it's not working. 2020 Reels came out. I'm like, okay, let me make like fashion transitions. Let me try things. So I did a few fashion videos on Reels. I did like self-development videos, like productivity,
Okay.
lifestyle videos, how to communicate better, things like that. That also didn't run. Then I'm like, okay, I need to do something. One thing that I like doing is that has a core is telling stories, storytelling.
Okay.
And I like consuming information also.
Mm.
So I saw like a lot of this YouTube channel called Yes Theory.
Yeah.
So they go to all these places and tell stories. I'm like, that's interesting. And Nas Daily also does that. So I'm like, why don't I combine everything that I'm interested in and try to package it into something like this? And then this just came out. So I made a few videos. I think the first video that hit 10K was about condoms on Instagram, about the history of condoms. It hit 10K views. So before that, like my videos were getting 800, 600, 700 views.
Okay.
So when that hit 10K views, I'm like, okay, there's something to this. Let me just keep going. Then out of nowhere, I'm like, wait, why don't you try making videos about Bangalore? You haven't done that. I'm sorry, Bengaluru. Why don't you try making videos about Bengaluru? You haven't done that. Let's just try it. So I tried it, first video. Then I also said, okay, let me ask my friends also to share this video. Maybe they will. I wasn't hoping for them to. I'm like, let's just try.
Okay.
Because what I realized is because it was something that they're part of the city. I made a video about MTR, Mawali Tiffin Rooms, a very famous restaurant that's now a global brand. You get a lot of ready-made food. That video, a lot of them were like, wow, I did not know this. And I feel that was one of the edits where I gave it all my all, okay? That was the first, like, at that point, it was, I sat on, I'm pretty sure you are aware, right? You sit on the edit table, you just sit and then tuck, you do something and then you're happy with it. I'm like, okay, it's great. I posted it, people liked it. First week, 4,000 views, oh, this is good. Next 2 weeks, 10,000. I'm like, oh, wow, 10,000 views, great. Let me make more videos about Bangalore.
Okay.
I made, and as I kept making parallelly, this shot up to about 200, 300K. Then I made a video about Blossom's Book House.
The one on Church Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was my first video to get million views. And that's when a lot of people started hitting follow.
Okay.
And after that, I've also created videos about other things, not just Bangalore. But some of them do well, some of them don't. But right now I'm focusing on more videos about Bangalore, South India, things that one demographic can relate to, and just focusing on what they like, what they relate to, all of that. And then slowly I want to start creating videos about other things, other parts. Like I made a video about Ganesh Chaturthi, how it, why is it so big in Mumbai?
Yeah.
It's because, first of all, apparently people during Shivaji's times, they were huge followers of Lord Ganesha. He would give them, strength to overcome the obstacles, all of that. And after a while, it was very small, low key.
Okay.
And then one guy went to Gwalior and he saw a huge Ganesh celebration in public. And then he came back and then he brought it back to Pune. And Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lokamanya Tilak, the freedom fighter, was like, this is a great way to unite Indian people to fight against the British. So he had a newspaper that time, he did all the publicity. And ever since then, Ganesh Chaturthi has been a huge festival in Mumbai. Like, I have friends there, 7 days, they just here, in 2 days it gets over there. 7 days, they just keep going for Visurgence.
Like even now you can see stories, bro, on Instagram. Like
They're
they're
still
celebrating.
celebrating. Here, like it takes 2, 3. Here, so in Mumbai, Karnataka, In Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, Goa, as far as I know of, it's huge. It's a huge
Yeah.
festival.
Yeah.
But the most is Maharashtra because that's the core, right?
Yeah.
For them, it's a huge thing.
Bro, like, so I've watched a lot of your videos, and then like you make a lot of videos on history, and then Bangalore. Like, are you also curious, or you're just doing it because people are watching, or anything? Is it because
So
of that, or?
history-wise, I'm very curious. And Bangalore-wise, one thing is, I more than curiosity, it's relatability for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something I really relate to because I grew up in this region, very familiar
Yeah.
names, a lot of that. But also a huge part, yes, it comes to like what the audience also likes, right? That's
Yeah.
a huge part. There was a point of time when I'm like, I don't want to make Bangalore videos anymore because it's limiting me. But then I
Yeah.
realized if people like it, make it. And
Yeah.
I remember you were telling me you watched a podcast of mine that I recorded a year ago, right?
Yeah.
I remember saying on that, bro, how many videos can I make on Bangalore?
Yeah.
But 1 year later, my perspective has changed. There's
Okay.
so many stories that you can
Right.
still find if you keep looking.
Right.
At that time, I made a video about how the city got electricity.
Okay.
And now, the recent video I made about Bangalore who was about this woman called Coffee Pudi Sakama or D Sakama.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that.
She
Yeah. Yeah.
brought a business from Kurk to Bangalore,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like that. I made a video about Kaban Park.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to Kaban Park and made that video last week.
The making
make
out
out-
making
make
out
out
spot.
spot,
Yeah.
make
And
out
also,
spot.
you gave the girls a signal that you're single. Already.
So yeah, but so I feel like everything you can make, any topic you choose, there's always deeper information.
True.
There's always deeper information if you keep digging.
Yeah.
Information will never run out. You just need to keep finding it.
So, as per your research, you can just brief us like around how was Bangalore post independence? Like, because pre independence we know, like, Bangalore was a hub for all these Britishers, and most of the developments are done by them. But how was it like after post independence?
After the British left,
Yeah,
what
after the
happened?
British left, because I think most of the India was in chaos. So, in specifically Bangalore, how was it?
So yeah, as far as what I've done and what my parents tell me, my parents grew up in the 60s, so that's 20 years
Yeah.
post independence. Uh, so there was still a lot of the heritage the British left, right? Because the king of Mysore was very close to the British people. For example, cricket. The British obviously brought it here, but the king of Mysore promoted it because he
Okay.
enjoyed it. It's a great way to connect with them, and a lot of people took it up. And a lot of from then itself, a lot of people migrated to Bangalore from Tamil Nadu, from the neighboring state. And from Sindh, my dad told me from Sindh when partition happened, Sindh in Pakistan, the Sindhis, a lot of Sindhis came here because good weather, nice place to do business.
Yeah.
So it was always a melting pot, even after independence. But once the IT boom happened,
Yeah.
everyone came here and created traffic. So, so yeah, that's pretty much. And weather, man.
Yeah.
Weather.
Apparently, people needed bed sheets in summer.
Oh.
I would love to be in that kind of place when you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
bed sheets in summer.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I was a child, I remember yes, it was cold,
Yeah, it was.
but now it's become
Now it's
slightly
like-
warmer.
Yeah.
Pollution, global warming, lot of greenhouse gases being released. But yeah, the weather was to a next level. It's still good compared to other places.
Yeah.
But it isn't as good. I remember 2 years ago in May, full India is going through a heat wave, like
Yeah,
40
yeah.
degrees, 50 degrees. Bangalore once was 15 degrees in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what the hell is happening? So yeah, like it's crazy. But yeah, this is pretty much how it was. And Majestic was that was the main city center at one point,
Okay.
the
Okay.
cantonment.
Yeah.
That was the city center. That was where everything happened. Brigade Road, MG Road was like a fun place for the people, the officers to chill and all.
Okay.
And everything else was like outside the city. That's
And
pretty
there's
much how
like
it
a
was.
railway station also, like in Majestic,
Yeah.
I think.
That was one.
yeah.
That was the one the British built.
And also the bus stop too, like Majestic. There's
Bus
a
stand.
huge bus stop.
Yeah.
So a lot of things. I think everyone is like opening their businesses, everything around there itself.
Majestic, Chickpet,
Yeah, yeah.
Cotton Pit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Still, bro, over there it's like so chaotic. If you're going there, like it's always crowded. Like people are buying things, selling things. That is how it is over there.
then there was one more, bro. National Market. Have you
Yeah,
heard
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that?
yeah,
national
Bro,
market. Yeah,
back in the day,
yeah,
the Game Boy was in the 2000s as we were growing up. The Game Boy was like a huge thing.
yeah.
So to get like lower price Game Boys, lower price cartridges, all of that, they would go to National Market and get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Even they used to load games into a CD for all your PS3s or PS2s. If you like give them a CD, they used to give like 50 games or something.
In one CD and
Yeah, in
use
one
it.
CD.
Bro, yeah, bro, those were the days. Honestly,
Yeah,
like when I look at kids, the video games they play on the iPad.
yeah,
They play Xbox, all of that. But those
Yeah.
cartoon animated games that we played
Yeah.
as kids, no,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
were
Yeah.
nothing beats that, bro. Nothing beats that.
Bro,
Like,
like that Mario and
Mario,
all
Pokemon.
Pokemon and
Yeah.
all was crazy, bro.
nothing beats that. Nothing beats that.
What was your favorite game to play?
So I used to play this game called Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Okay, okay.
It's basically every single thing combined into one game. So you
Oh,
use all
crazy.
every single Nintendo game, Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, certain things I hadn't even heard of. I think it was very famous before when I was in the 80s and 90s, like Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, King DDD. It's crazy
Yeah.
as to remember
Yeah.
this because it's such a huge thing, but it had like every single OG game in the 80s and 90s come together in 2000. This was in 2010. This 2008, 2010 it released,
Okay.
and that was one of my favorite games, man. Like you can use any single character and play multiple levels.
Have you played Counter Strike?
No, bro, I haven't.
Oh,
CS.
bro, that was like our daily
yeah.
thing
CS.
after school, man.
CS, huh?
Like we used to go to these cybers, okay, and then we used to play all these games.
Vice
all-
City.
Yeah, Vice City, yeah. Vice City, then cricket and all that, bro.
Cricket 07, right?
Yeah,
I played, bro, so too many Cricket 07. Yeah.
I think every Indian kid, like at one age, one certain age, wanted to be a cricketer, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Most of them, yeah, definitely.
Like like everyone has played cricket, like
But yeah, but one funny thing about cricket also is, so I asked my dad in Bengaluru, they used to play I forget box cricket, no, some name, okay, where they would play in the driveway.
okay.
Short cricket. They would play in the driveway. So things have changed so much. So when I was a kid, this was 2011 to about 2015, 16. So when I was age 11 to 16,
Okay.
the score in six overs, if we hit like 65, good score. Today, the kids who play well, like that same age group who are playing well, if you score 65, they'll chase it down in 4 overs. Because international cricket players are so. If international cricket now they're playing so fast, it trickles down to even street cricket. So that's why I went and asked my dad, when you were in 10 overs, how much would you guys score? You know what he told me? 40 runs. I started laughing. I lost it. I was like, what are you guys? What were you guys doing?
Bro, now ECL happened, okay? Like these influencers, they like someone organized a cricket tournament for all these influencers, bro. Okay, all these guys had different teams and they start playing in 30 balls, T10, okay, it is. 30 balls, 150 runs. One guy scored 150.
30 balls.
30 balls, bro.
And he's
Like
a famous
small-
influencer.
Yeah, they all are famous, all these guys.
Who are these guys? Which, if you can tell names.
Like, bro, this Elvish Yadav, you know,
Elvish Yadav.
Munawar Faruqi, all these guys. They're like
all
all
the big
these
boss
famous
company,
guys.
big,
yeah.
okay.
All these famous guys are like these guys are the captains, and the remaining players are actually the people who play.
Oh, okay.
So those guys are hitting 150, 125, 30 balls, bro.
That's crazy.
Then when you're like fully like tired, like hectic, you have done a lot of work. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you know, get that peace, bro?
One is going on walks, bro. Walks.
Walks, okay.
Bro, walking, it's, for me, it's a very great way to, take breaks, detox.
Okay.
Sometimes with music, sometimes without music, just taking a walk. And if let's say I'm stuck on a problem, right? Like I'm not getting an idea. If I'm, like something is not like let's say the system is like not, something isn't loading properly. I just like stop, go take a walk,
Okay.
come back, and more often than not, I get unstuck after that. And apparently that's what also a lot of CEOs do. They take a lot of walks. so
Okay.
that their
Okay.
mind keeps working.
Yeah.
I would do it because I feel good, but recently I realized CEOs do it, so I'm like, oh, okay. Right.
And then also like when you make all these videos like about history and all of that, like how do you research, like only on Google or you read books, and how is that like?
So mostly it's online articles and libraries, digital articles, libraries, newspaper reports. That's the best source. Newspaper reports
Okay.
from credible newspapers, and then you fact check through other article libraries,
Okay.
and also YouTube videos, proper YouTube
Okay.
videos from
Okay.
good content creators, like people who've been there for a while, just to fact check, and some visual proof as well.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like one picture that
Yeah.
says, "Coffee Pudi Sakama, she owned
Yeah.
this estate."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, things like that. So
And then how much time it takes for you to, like research and then make the video and put it out?
So I think I have a very different answer to this.
Okay.
I think it's how much time I tell myself.
Hmm.
That's what I've realized.
Oh, yeah.
If I tell myself, bro, tomorrow I'll edit it,
Yeah.
it takes an entire day to edit a video. If I tell myself by 9 o'clock I need to post a video sometimes, within 2 hours I can edit a video.
Hmm.
So it depends on how much I tell myself. what
And
I
the
tell.
research also, like you can do it like how
The
much
research
time?
takes a little more time. Research, I feel it takes a little more time. Uh, I give myself like depending on the video. If it's a video where there's a lot of information available, I give myself 3 hours to just read everything, fact
Okay.
check,
Okay.
and then make notes.
Yeah.
And then once I've done that, scripting becomes a little faster.
Yeah.
It takes 45 minutes to an hour to script.
Because like the what content you put out, it's not easy because it has to be facts, and then like you have to do a lot of research and all that happens. So but when people are gonna see, they're just gonna like see it for like 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then they're gonna scroll down. But like I've seen a lot of people wasting time like putting out waste content, but what you're doing is good, bro. Like at least like for us, like when I watch your videos, I'm like, yeah, this is interesting, and it's also like fun, bro. It's like interesting, fun, informative, all of that. So like I like content like that. I want to watch more of it. I hopefully like everyone does that, dude.
Yeah, man. Like even I actually feel bad, when
Yeah.
I'm like you as well. When I'm
Yeah.
scrolling, I'm like, this is what people are making.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
is like there was a point of time. I think there was golden content when 2016, 18 and all, on YouTube especially. People were putting out good content.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
when people like who are like making, it may not be informative videos, comedy videos.
Yeah.
Ashish Chanchlani, Prajakta Kohli,
Yeah.
Bhuvan
Yeah.
Bam,
Yeah. Bhuvan Bam,
Bunik, wonderful sketches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today I think there's only a handful of creators like that who are
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
good comedy on short form. And long form I don't think a lot of people are doing it because production takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I don't know how they'll make that switch, how they'll integrate that at all. I don't know that, but there are very few creators who are doing that. There are a lot of people, I don't know, for them comedy content now isn't any storyline. You just take the camera, say something that comes to your mind that you thought it was funny. Maybe it is funny, but it's not impactful funny. Like for example, Bunik, there's a twist in the end. You will always, I can remember like 30, 40 Bunik videos, but if a content creator removes a camera and just rants and says, and just makes something relatable and funny, will you remember that content creator? No, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just like background music playing, and they've taken a recording of someone doing something funny and put it up, and it's going. I mean, it's fun to do. I agree. I mean, if you're doing it, you want to do it. That's great. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
But from a creative perspective, what more are people doing? How are people pushing that creative boundary?
Yeah.
Like you guys have started a podcast, which is a very great step because it takes a lot of effort to get people on, set this up like this, make a conversation engaging for people to watch for 1 hour, and there is value in the end that you're delivering to your audience through that conversation. Even if it's like a fun podcast where you just talk shit, there is still some value. Okay, even like Untriggered, right? You've seen that podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's complete bakchodi, but
Yeah, bro.
you
Same,
feel
bro.
some
Like
value.
I mean, I love watching them because it's at least like I don't want to waste my time. If I'm watching something, I want it to be like entertaining or informative. Anything like that is fine. But someone who's like going on cribbing about some waste things, I don't like that, bro. Like you're wasting your time then.
Yeah, true, absolutely, and that's the thing that I see, even like forget comedy, even like lifestyle content creators back in the day. There's a creator called Sejal Kumar. She created a lot of lifestyle content. Komal Pandey, they're big
Yeah,
fashion
yeah.
creators. Bro, they would put so much effort into production.
Mm.
I would watch a lot of Sejal Kumar's vlogs and all because her editing was so nice, her production was so nice, storytelling, all of that was there. But now people are like just even the lifestyle content because it's short form. I agree, putting that effort into storytelling and all is hard. It's difficult, but people aren't pushing themselves creatively because now everything is there on your phone. That time they had to shoot it on their phone, edit it somewhere else,
Yeah.
and keep the viewer engaged for
right.
like 10 minutes. But now I feel like that effort has gone. But yeah, like if you're starting a podcast, that I think that's one great way to put in effort into content as well. And even like a lot of podcast shots that are trending, some of them are questionable.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good
Yeah.
and nice to watch. For example, uh, to give you an example of a podcast that I really like is WTF by Nikhil Kamath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 hour long podcast, and I get a lot of value from the shorts as well that he
Right.
puts.
Right.
So you're creating duration doesn't matter. In the end of the day, they're figuring out how to produce value across platforms, and I think that's what a lot of content creators should look into.
Who did you draw inspiration to start off your content creation journey?
I think we all have a common answer. Let's say the name in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the video.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. So yeah, Ranveer has really been an inspiration for me as a content creator. Now, honestly, I don't consume much, so I don't watch all of his podcasts.
Okay.
But when he had that phase, I think he had a phase from 2018. I started watching in 2017, but a phase from 2018 to about 2021, where he would put out a lot of entrepreneurial content. Either it's like sitting in front of a camera and recording his learnings, or at a point of time he would vlog his entrepreneurial life as well. That gave me immense value. People say a lot of things about him, right? Like they criticize him for saying you need to work hard when everyone in COVID. I agree. Okay, fine. Like not everyone has the mental bandwidth to work hard. Everyone has their own family issues, all of that.
Right.
But for people who can work hard, and I think Ranveer's message is apt, but he got criticized for that, and fair, people have their opinion. They criticize him for like a lot of things that he does in the podcast now.
Yeah.
All of that is there. Some things he does a little over the top for like he himself also makes fun of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He knows that's going to get the eyeballs. That's great, but at the core, he's a great creative entrepreneur.
Definitely, bro.
He's built like 4 businesses, right? He has teams of 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
He's stuck to it for so long. He's come from I don't know how well off his family was, but he says like at points of time it wasn't always good, but net he had like a good upbringing, but he didn't allow that to just stop him and make him stagnant. He wanted more out of life, right? And I think the reason I don't know, maybe you might also agree with this, the reason we liked him was I think we are people who wanted to do something different, but society or people in other ways kind of like put us into one path.
Yeah.
But he was someone who broke out of the path and was like
Right.
owning it completely, and that's what really made me resonate with him. So yeah, he was the OG in terms of putting out my first video. But in terms of creativity, yes, theory, I love how they do it. Vox, Casey Neistat, Think School. You guys know Think School?
Yeah.
Like
guy,
in terms
yeah,
of
bro.
production, storytelling, amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
And that
amazing
guy
content.
also like thinks cool, like that person, like he and Ranveer are friends, okay?
Yeah.
So like they both did a podcast and I watched that.
Yeah.
And that guy is like, I start posting on Fridays because Ranveer used
Because
to do it.
Ranveer-
I start posting at this particular because Ranveer was doing it. And that guy I think in 6 months or something hit 1 mil, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
One more thing I've noticed, you said in 6 months he hit 1 million,
Yeah.
right? So I have a few friends I've made because of content creation who are creators as well. They're doing pretty well. They've done pretty well. They've built something for themselves, and they're going through this journey. And everyone thinks a content creator's career 100K means it's flourishing. No, there's like to get to like a Tanmay Bhatt level, there's a lot of steps you need to take.
Yeah.
And one thing a lot of these friends of mine have told me is what puts a creator apart from the others in the end of the day is how disciplined they can be.
Mm.
And I will honestly say there have been times where I've not been disciplined.
Mm.
I let my feelings get the better of me. I have not felt that. I have not been there. But I feel in a creator's journey, once any creator hits that, and this is out of not out of experience because I haven't been there, but out of what I've seen, once they find that phase where they've been incredibly disciplined, right? Everything changes. Like there's a content creator I watch called Akanksha Munga. She's big on Instagram. She's a travel creator. And but it's very different. Like she tells stories, tips, like very storytelling oriented, tips and tricks, beautiful editing.
Okay.
Once she herself says, once I got discipline, my pages across channels went from 100K on Instagram to a million. 20K on YouTube to almost a million on YouTube. And she's doing a bunch of other things as well. So once I've seen creators inculcate some sort of discipline, even if they're posting one video a week,
Yeah.
they're able to post one video a week for 12 months, two videos a week, 6 months guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So getting to that stage really sets someone apart. That's what I'm seen and noticed.
And even I've heard this thing. So, you know, Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
So he used to tell, like, I was so disciplined that during a shoot, his nose started bleeding.
Shit.
And he just went off camera, he wiped it, and again he came back on camera.
Yeah, man.
I think that's what it takes to make it really big. If you're just doing it for your passion, most of them, you know, content creation is passion for them. But only for the sake of passion you're doing it, I think there is nowhere you're going. You need like more elements like discipline, and you need to like stick on to it.
True.
And you know, like even you said, like before we started this, like most of the podcasts fail after 3 episodes.
After 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And only like 99% of them fail after 21 episodes or something.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a crazy statistic.
Hopefully we don't.
I mean, looking at you guys, I see you guys have the drive to do it because, like, first of all, like the fact that you're like, let's set things up, right? That itself says a lot because a lot of people when they think about a podcast, especially, they're like, we can record it on phone. What's there? We'll start like that.
Right.
I feel okay for a video creation. If you want to just create video, phone is a great place to start to understand things.
Yeah.
But for a podcast, I feel this is very important. A mic is very important.
Yeah.
And now because a lot of podcast is video as well,
Yeah.
a setup is also important. So I think because you guys have taken that step, it says a lot about you guys. And the fact that like, you know, you have already like you have guests lined up, you've got a lot of people, you're doing that jugaad to get people out. So I think because
I
of what
think
you guys are
staying
doing-
consistent is the best thing you can do, bro, to grow on YouTube or Instagram, online, social media. And also, like you were telling me how much editing is important. Like I think like editing is one main thing for a person to watch the whole video. Like if your edit is not that great, I think they're gonna scroll down, bro.
Yeah, and that also is subjective, because you saw Beer Biceps Think Cool podcast, right?
Yeah.
He said every 3 months
The algorithm
algorithm changes. I don't know how research backed that is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say algorithm changes. I would say he said that, but I would say people's perception changes.
Okay.
So one thing about editing is I feel more than the pacing and all matters. Some pacing effects and all matters, but if the visual is nice to look at, then you've done a good job. Because I've seen people with extremely slow paced videos do well, extremely fast paced Mr. Beast style videos also do well to an extent. Like that's one important thing, and how that story flows. That's also another very important thing.
And also, like what I like about you is like you're talking about all these content creators from India. Like for me also, like I always relate to them only, bro. Like for me, like if you take Mr. Beast, like he's the best, but someone else from the abroad, like they are doing their thing and they're big at their thing. But when one of like from India, our country is doing, like you feel more relatable, and then you feel like you can learn it more easily, right? That is how it is for me too.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I feel in India that number, like people, like you guys, you know Colin and Sameer.
Yeah.
You guys, like you guys are aware of that, right? As content creators.
I know who those people are. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't No. So I feel
Yeah.
the thing is like the creators who have made it, they're they understand a lot in India especially. They understand how the global creator space works, how they take a lot of templates. Okay, Casey did this. Let me do this in the
Yeah.
Indianized version. That's the ones who made it. But a lot of people who are, still figuring things out. A lot of them, they don't like take that time to learn. That's what I figured. So in India, like the ones I feel who've made it, they
Okay.
look at things from a very holistic perspective and understand uh, industry trends a lot better. But the people who've not really made it to that stage and who like struggle a little bit, I feel they kind of lack that. You get it? That's one thing
Yeah.
that I've noticed.
It is, really fascinating from a creator's perspective. If you look at the way, your journey goes, first everyone wants to, pull out some viral video, like how you said your MTR did good and stuff. But do you really think, is it the viral content that will boom your journey, or the consistency, or the way you create content? Like yours is wholesomely, it's only storytelling. And it is really interesting to watch, because for me, I'm a man of history, because I love watching historic stuff. So what do you feel? How is it like? You need viral content, or you know I'll just stick to my niche?
Very good question. I think figuring out what your audience likes and then looking at what they will share and relate to matters more than looking at something that's sensational or viral.
Okay.
Like virality, I think you can like I've seen like videos where they're talking about the most sensational, most controversial, viral topic that's everyone's talking about, and it's not done well for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of people talk about some guy's ashes being on the moon,
Yeah.
planted
Yeah.
on the moon.
Yeah.
That video is done well.
Right.
Video of how beer bottles were like looked like beetles, and the female beetles were trying to mate with the beer bottle. I've seen a video about that.
Okay.
That video, that video is done well. So I think more than looking for viral topics, I think looking for a good hook that people will people will fall like be more drawn into, and a good finish that leaves them satisfied. So hook and
Yeah.
satisfying finish will help your videos grow. Because so I created a video about Dr. Rajkumar
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
did pretty well, and that is kind of like a viral topic because he's a
Yeah.
famous personality and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also created videos about why Tamil is the language of Singapore. That's
Oh,
also doing well.
okay.
So the thing about Dr. Rajkumar, the hook was, how did the death of this great celebrity cause IT firms to lose money? And the reason was because when Dr. Rajkumar passed away, there were protests on the streets, and firms like IBM and Microsoft had to shut down their operations in Bangalore, and other firms as well, because of this. And because of that shutdown, they lost money for some days, right? So that was one. And the other one about Singapore was, why is Singapore the national language, one of the official languages of, why is Tamil one of the official languages of Singapore? And there it tells about how the Tamil people migrated from the times of the Cholas and post-colonial rule as well. They migrated into Singapore. So there were like many phases of their migration, and because they contributed so much to Singapore, the they were recognized for their efforts. And because they were a huge ethnic minority from that region, India, Sri Lanka, or even Malaysia region, they're like, okay, let's make this also one of the official languages along with English, Mandarin, and Malay. So yeah, so both, like the hook was satisfying, and the
Yeah.
ending was also, oh, okay, wow, this is the reason. So yeah.
Have you ever made one content piece where you felt like, if I post this out, maybe I can get cancelled?
bro.
Or did you have anything like that?
I've never like thought, maybe I'll get cancelled and all. Uh, because I feel like with anything you say these days, people will cancel you.
Yeah,
No
true.
matter what.
Yeah,
Anything
yeah.
you say, they'll find a reason to cancel. So it's not, uh, you know, the right thing to
Yeah.
think like that. But that's actually a very interesting question because a lot of videos, I don't think I'll get cancelled, but I honestly think people won't like this.
Okay.
It won't
It won't
it
work.
won't work, and that's why a lot of videos I shelve, or I'm like, let me do it later. In fact, the video about Rahul Dravid I made recently, it's doing pretty well now on Instagram at least. That idea I had like a year ago, but I didn't because I'm like, is it really gonna matter? Will people really like it or not? But I did it recently and people liked it. So
So I was going through your Instagram and it said if I knew this when I was 18. So what is it, bro?
if I if I knew
If I knew this when I was 18 years or
uh,
something like that was there on the Instagram.
on my Instagram,
Yeah.
shit,
Ah,
even I forget.
okay.
Uh, I think it was a story I posted. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember. Now I
Yeah.
remember. Now I remember. I think it was a story I posted a long while. So yeah, I was like, if I knew this when I was 18 years old, I would be, I think, a lot more at peace. And that was again, we were talking about the Naval Ravikant's book, right?
Yeah.
Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I highly recommend. If you guys haven't read it, I highly recommend you all read it. It's a wonderful book. So one thing that he said is, it was about relationships, and that just changed everything, right? Like when you're like, I think from the age of maybe 13 to when 20, when you're in your prime years of college and you're a teenager, you kind of like want to fit into the cool gang. You want to be in the
Right.
cool gang.
Right.
Because when I was growing up as a teenager, honestly,
Yeah.
I wasn't in the cool gang. So slowly in the after, like when I was 15, 16, I wanted to be in the cool gang. And after that, all that happened, bro. Cool gang. I was in a pretty cool gang, very big group, all of that. But later, as you grow older, you realize it's not about being in a cool gang. It's about being with people who add value to your life in the long term.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a line in Nawal Ravikant's book that says, one great way to get ahead in life is to invest in long-term relationships. Play long-term games with long-term people.
Yeah.
And it also talks about, how everyone is just playing status games, wanting to look cool. Instead, play wealth games. Instead of buying that BMW to impress a friend, maybe save that money, build your YouTube channel, then BMW becomes nothing.
Yeah,
You
right.
get it for yourself,
Right.
right? And you're doing something that you really want. Like
Yeah.
if YouTube is your dream, or if your dream is to travel the world, travel the world.
Yeah.
Do that instead of getting that BMW. That's pretty much what I took out of that.
Okay.
So I felt like when I was 18, if I knew that, I would not have wasted my time seeking validation from a lot of people. Now I do seek validation, but it's from people who matter to me, people who have
Yeah.
invested,
Yeah.
and people I see, that I have a long-term friendship with. But soon, like if I ever feel with anyone that, in the long term, this is not going to really add value to me, that's when I'll be like, okay, there's no point, and just do your own thing.
And even like in your content creation journey, like what kind of content you wanna put out in the future? Like you're gonna stick to storytelling or you're gonna switch? Like what are you planning?
There's going to be a storytelling element always.
Okay.
Now, about what I tell stories, that I want to change.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and how I tell it. For example, the Cubbon Park video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was slightly different from my normal video. I
Yeah,
went to
true.
Cubbon Park and shot it.
Yeah.
In my head, it was like, okay, I'm Casey Neistat and also walks at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they do it in a different way, but that was the picture I had in my mind. So that's one thing I want to try. And then later, there are a lot of philosophical things that I think about,
Okay.
and I want to like put that out in a story. That way, it doesn't look too preachy,
Okay.
like I'm giving gyan. But at the same time, it's something fun and interesting. So I want
That's
to do
gonna
that.
be like very
Yeah.
interesting.
I want to try doing that. I really want to try doing that
Okay.
at some point of time. So yeah, as Ranveer himself said, right? First, get the numbers, get people,
Yeah.
and then after that you can like also try different things. So
Right.
he did that, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
till 100K he was doing, I think, fitness. Then he switched to fashion lifestyle, went to
Yeah.
1 million after that. And then
Yeah.
after fashion lifestyle thing, he started self-improvement business. got that from 1 million, he went to maybe 2 million. Now podcast, he's gone like
He
full
shot
mass.
up, yeah.
I think he's at 7 million.
Yeah.
Everyone like he knows everyone like in every industry pretty much.
Right,
Film,
bro, right.
cricket.
Bro, like he
entrepreneur.
calls all these actors his friends now, bro. Like
Yeah,
Vicky
exactly.
Kaushal, bro, is my friend. Like he doesn't call him like Vicky Kaushal.
Yeah.
He's like, I know one of my friend, Vicky Kaushal. He
The podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, am I friend?
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, Vicky Kaushal, man.
Yeah, but that's one more thing, right? Like
Yeah.
about where we live in an age now when you put yourself out on the internet,
Yeah.
right? Because of the internet, you get to meet a lot of people who are doing different things in life. That's one more thing I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like I like I've met because I've not met a lot of famous people, quote unquote, but there was one person who I did a collaboration with.
Okay.
She's pretty. I mean, she's pretty pretty famous. Like she has a good following on Instagram. She's well known in Mumbai,
Okay.
but she's not a film actress. She acted in this TV show I used to watch as a child called Kambala Investigation Agency
Okay.
on Pogo. It
Okay.
used to come. It was a detective TV show. I was a huge fan of it. This was when I was 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
She acted in that. Then, like, a year ago, she messaged me saying, "Hey, want to collaborate?"
Okay.
And I was already we were following each other. And I'm like, "Yeah, amazing." She also creates very similar content. I'm like, "Great, this is awesome. Let's do this."
Okay.
And then I was like googling. I'm like, I've seen her somewhere before. So then I googled, and then it showed Kambala Investigation Agency. Now she looked different when she was 18, obviously.
Yeah.
Than now, but you can see the similarities. I'm like, oh shit. Like I was a fan of her when I was a child, and now I got to
Yeah.
I'm creating a video with her. How life changes. So a few of these things happen, and then, like you kind of like few creators who I like have watched. I I have got a chance to meet them, speak to them, interact with them.
Yeah.
So things like that, things like that happen, and you get to like also meet a lot of people who are creating other products, who are doing very cool things in the startup space. Talk to them, pick their brain. One creator I came across was when I was in the US. His name is Ansh Mundra.
Okay.
Shout out to Ansh. He lives in New York. He studied in NYU.
Okay.
And he creates content for international students mainly, but also a little bit around his life, how he's growing in his life, his things and all. And he's building this thing called Rome for international students. Now, this has turned out to be a promotion for Rome. This is not paid, this is not a paid promotion, but it's a wonderful thing that he's doing because he's making their lives easier. And soon you realize, oh shit, I'm now like getting to talk to people who are doing amazing things, who are doing cool, interesting things, and that is mentally stimulating me. So that's another benefit of putting yourself out there in the internet. And even not limiting, I think even if you like go to a lot of networking events in Bangalore, and you have like one skill that you're confident about and that you've built, like let's say your skill is UI UX, right? And you go to all these networking events and you're really good at it and you know how to present yourself, you can meet a lot of cool people there as well. So I think putting yourself and your work out there, this content creator, Ali Abdal, he says, show your work. I think that itself helps a lot with, putting you in different places. That is absolutely true.
I feel, the only reason our content will be relevant in the future is because we create something that is, a substitute for reading books.
Yeah, one very, 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 very profound thought.
Yeah.
Because books have never died, right? Books, even though there's a library of Alexandra that burned down or something, but books have still remained. Like
Exactly.
people still read books, so that's a very good insight.
And see, you telling stories is like, it's been since a very, very long time. I think even during the Stone Age, there was someone telling stories like, I'd been there, I did this. So as humans, we have that, the attraction towards listening to stories. So I think whatever you're doing is a really great job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Your kid is gonna be sorted, bro. Like you telling him a story, like he's gonna he's gonna be a good kid. He's gonna sleep, bro. At the right time,
Bedtime, okay, Papa. Family vacation, this building.
Bro, like you were telling me that now you don't consume that much content on the internet. Like, but when you do, like, what type of content like you like to watch?
Definitely about business.
Business, yeah.
I watched a video a month ago about one dude just made a video about everything you learn in B school, every single thing. And even though I learned it in class, it was a
Okay.
great refresher. And the way he
Yeah,
packaged it
yeah,
was
yeah.
amazing.
Right.
I forget his name. I have it saved in my YouTube. It's there.
Okay.
But that was amazing. So I watch a lot of videos about business. I try to watch a lot of now a lot of vlogs, different kind of vlogs are popping up on my profile. Cinematic vlogs, you know.
Yeah.
Really, there's this creator called Life of Riza. I discovered her on YouTube.
Yeah.
She's
yeah,
a Canadian creator.
Okay.
Very beautiful cinematic vlogs with nice storytelling.
Yeah, yeah.
So anything that's informative or has good storytelling in it, I prefer consuming that now.
I think 2020 there was COVID. Everyone grew, bro. But now, like, no, like people don't have that much time. If you're putting out good content, then only they're gonna watch because COVID, like everyone was free.
I
They,
didn't grow in COVID, bro.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
fashion videos didn't click for me. I think I was one of very few people who did not capitalize on that, who could not. But yeah, I get your point. I get your point.
You're there, like you're putting out videos from 2018.
Yeah, yeah. My first video on the internet was in 2018.
Okay.
Like at that time I didn't even know about videos, man.
Mm.
And bro, so 2018 was a very interesting year for me. That's when I wanted to do this. I wanted to. So till about second PU, I was in second PU. I graduated in 2018. So till about second PU, I was a guy who would just go with the group, chill, talk. I didn't have a personality of my own.
Okay.
I wasn't known for like being any personality. Like I was just a guy in the group. 2018, I'm like, I need to change that. I need to be known for something that I do. I'm like, let's make YouTube videos. I always wanted to do that. I did that. First video got support because it's the first video. Everyone was like, it's a good first attempt. Nice, man. It's good that you're doing this. But then it was bad. No one will tell you. They're like, first video, fine. But then I kept doing it again and again.
Right.
And what happened once was my friend, good friend of mine, we all joined colleges and we were friends with people in their colleges, each other's colleges and stuff. And then he introduced me to a group in his college, not my college.
Okay.
He's one of my closest friends till date.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, bro, this group is really nice, right? Very nice and all. And then he's like, wait, I'll show you something. He opens his phone, shows me one video. One group is sitting, looking at it on phone, laughing, giggling. And then slowly they zoom in. It's my video playing. I was like, fuck. I was shattered that day, bro. I was shattered. I was like, fuck. And these guys to my face, they're like, amazing, da, good, da, and all. And then slowly after that, like after they became closer to me a little more, true nature comes out. You know, like taunts in WhatsApp groups.
Right.
Like all of that.
Yeah.
All of that started. The taunts,
Yeah.
little bit. And that's so in that situation when I was 18, I was like, fuck, what the hell happened? And then I'm like, it's okay. I still have like a few good friends. It's fine. These guys, I anyway met them really. Doesn't matter. But 2019, what happened was I was hanging out with another group I was very close to. 2020, sorry, this was during COVID.
Okay.
And then it was in the night. And then they were like, let's watch a video. Okay, let's watch a movie or something. Then one guy's like, hey bro, we'll open Ahan's video and we'll watch it. We all will laugh come. I was like, fuck bro. Like, and these, like, friends, they pull each other's leg.
Right.
Yeah.
Like your friends will always pull your leg. That is normal. But one more thing is there. Once you try getting ahead in life, right? If your friend, and it's something that you care about, you really care about and you're doing it. And you see a friend pulling your leg about that. I don't think that is correct. Like,
Right.
that's one boundary people should not cross, I feel.
Right.
Have you guys faced anything like that since you started, like with friends or?
I think pretty much not that because we maintained like our group. It's been 8 years of and everyone in our group is like we only have one group. So it's like every time when something happens between us, I tell them I look 20 years ahead of this group. It's not like yesterday you came, we party today, tomorrow you fuck off. It's not like that. I want you guys to be there for 20-30 years ahead in my life. So it's not like so my thing is I have kept close ones only who really matter to me, and the way you said the long term things matter. So it's that way to us.
But also, like, that is right. But we also have other friends, but no one has said anything yet, because I think we just started off.
And you guys are doing well, man. Like you guys know how to do shit. I didn't know how to do shit. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to speak in front of
Dude,
the
but
camera.
like when you talk, no, like people would like to listen because of the
Yeah.
because of your voice, the pitch and
Yeah.
everything. Like
Thanks,
actually,
man.
like
But I was
I'm
bad,
gonna
man.
just sit, yeah, Han, go on, and I'm gonna listen to you, bro. That kind of a voice
Thank
you
you,
got.
thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in the beginning. I thought you need to be energetic.
Yeah.
People say
Yeah.
you need to be energetic, right?
Yeah.
So my thing was okay, scream in front of the camera, but that's not energy really,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's another huge
right.
thing we need to figure out
Yeah.
because that's just shouting.
Mm.
So things like that like weren't proper in the beginning. Editing, I didn't know anything. Framing, content also wise, I wasn't really thinking. I was like, okay, Beer Biceps made this video. Let me make a video on that topic.
Yeah.
Things like that. I wasn't thinking. But so yeah, I agree. Like people, like I know why they laughed because it was bad. I agree that. But I think also at one point, one thing I know and one thing is true is once people are on a path of doing something in their life, they will laugh at other people for trying a little lesser. That's what I feel. Because apparently, like another person told me around this time, 2018, 19, 20. So when his friends were like drinking alcohol and doing other things and, out of their senses, they would open my video to just, laugh and get that kick, my video at that time. So that time, like, I was like, I had no friends who were doing the same thing, and that makes a big difference. Once you have friends who have a vision
Yeah,
to do the
right.
same thing as you, that's when you feel okay. I at least have people who I can talk to,
Yeah.
and you start realizing, okay, I want to make friends like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, after all that hatred or,
I wouldn't call it hatred,
hatred,
and all.
not exactly,
Just
but
taunting or
yeah,
tala wala,
after all this, I think, this is where you prove most of them, and, we also, wish you a very successful
Thanks,
journey
man.
ahead.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So it was wonderful having you on the show.
Great video.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
great video. Honestly, wonderful
Yeah.
setup. And I mean, I see you guys having a lot of drive in yourself. Like you seem to be very serious. Just keep the seriousness going,
Thank you.
Yeah.
and just keep churning out
Bro,
videos.
like your vision and our vision are like similar, bro. Like you wanna do
Yeah.
it big, we wanna do it the same. Like wish you the best, man. Like
Thanks, man. You guys
thank
too.
and also like thank you so much for coming. Like, bro, like for us, like me and him, like we don't have too many friends who are doing this. Okay, like
Yeah.
talking to you, like I'm feeling good, bro. Like just talking to you, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And then like the way we spoke now was too good. I'm like, bro, I want you back, man. Like whenever you're free,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll keep
Yeah.
continuing posting content for a while.
right?
We'll
And
grow
then
at our respective
Yeah,
time
yeah.
freeze and come back and we'll see how it
Exactly,
goes.
yeah.
But just keep at it, guys, and don't like. I know like sometimes you'll feel like taking that break, stopping for a while, but just make sure that break isn't too long
Yeah.
because that's one mistake I made.
True.
Just make sure like you get back on the on the bike immediately.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys.
We'll end it over here. See you all on next Friday. MVP Unplugged.